What a fantastic sprint race we've just had at the Brazilian Grand Prix. This has been a weekend that just keeps giving. Who'd have thought we'd have a battle at the front with George Russell and Max Verstappen. Brilliant racing all the way throughout, but let's get right to the start. Brilliant start from Kevin Magnussen from pole. I thought we'd see Max Verstappen right up on the inside, to be honest, by turn one, and off he went for the race win, but a brilliant start. Max didn't get a great start at all, to be honest. George Russell was right up alongside him going into turn one, but he managed to hold that off. Got a good run him down to turn four, but again, Max defended well down there. And Kevin Magnussen and Haas finally laid a race in the Formula One first time ever for them. Brilliant to see them right at the front. Unfortunately, he didn't hold off for too long. Got a couple of laps in the lead, but I think he knew that was not going to be his race up at the front today. Then just slowly fell down the field, to be honest. Finished in P8 in the end, did Kevin Magnussen, but still got a point because his points on sprint race, 8 for the winner and 1 down all the way down to the last place in 8th place. So at least that's the point that Haas were after, really, with their real battle in the Constructors' Championship with AlphaTauri. So they've got the point there that they craved, and sort of really celebrated that yesterday. And then once Max Verstappen got past Kevin, I just thought, that's it, he's gone. Russell was really on it, to be honest with you. He was right up behind, past Haas quite quickly. And then sort of stayed within touching distance, but it was in around a second, and then there was at one point that second DRS gap broke, and I thought that will be it. Max would then pull away, but George reeled him back in. Strangely, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, the only driver along with actually Latifi that started on the mediums, I thought that was a bit of a strange decision from them. But they did it, and I expected, as the race wore on, that Max would go stronger with the more durable tyre, but it didn't quite work out. The softs held on really well all the way throughout. Even teammate Perez was on the soft, so strange why Max on his side of the garage thought they'd need to go for that tyre. And then we got a brilliant battle with Max and George Russell. Couple of times he tried to make that overtake down into turn one. The Red Bull's far too fast round straight, but George managed to get the toe, hung on well through turn 2 and 3, and then just couldn't make it for turn 4. But it eventually got him. What he had to do was really what we'd seen Lewis Hamilton do when he finally pulled off the overtake there last season on Max Verstappen, is really pin him to the inside of turn 4, so he doesn't get the angle to get the turn in. He finally managed to do that, pinned him, and a brilliant race there and move there. The big movers at the start was Lance Stroll. He moved up 3 places. Mick Schumacher as well moved up 5 places at the start. Alex Albon, he was not a great start for him, and then he spun at the end of lap 1, dropped him down. But there was brilliant racing throughout. We've seen the 2 Alpines get together, Alonso and Ocon, early on. Alonso behind Ocon, following a good start from both them two. But it just didn't quite work out. Alonso got a bit annoyed with Ocon pushing him out wide. And then down the straight, Alonso claiming that Ocon was weaving. I didn't really see that as too much weaving. Just the way that straight flows in Brazil. It's a bit of a hard one to judge, and he lost the end of his front wing, did Alonso, with a shame for him and a shame for Alpine. They've sort of shot themselves in the foot. But they weren't the only team to do that. It was going off everywhere. Aston Martin, big battle between Lance Stroll and Aston Martin, and what a real dangerous move from Lance Stroll. He got a 10-place penalty, second penalty for that. Going out of turn 3, Vettel had the DRS, went to the inside, and Stroll just chopped straight across. I mean, he pushed him onto the grass. It wasn't as if Vettel was behind him at that stage. He was right up alongside, and he just sort of swerved and pushed him onto the grass. He got done for dangerous driving, 10-second place, and probably rightly so. But that's another team that's just cost themselves points there. But there was brilliant battles throughout. This is why we love Brazil. Absolutely fantastic racing. It is the best place to do a sprint race. There was overtaking throughout the field, throughout the race. And then there was the battle with Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz early on. I thought if Hamilton had got Sainz, it would have been right up behind Verstappen for a battle there, but he couldn't just quite make the move. And then I thought at that point in the race, it looked like that Sainz wouldn't pass Verstappen. He might have just had the pace, but Verstappen's pace just dropped off. Sainz then made a move on Verstappen with a brilliant run on him down in lap 19. It was only a 24-lap race with this sprint. Brilliant move there from him to get Verstappen. He did it down into turn 1. Just a brilliant move. The Ferrari have got the horsepower on that, so you could see why they could do that into turn 1. The Mercedes couldn't. And next up it was Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen again. And we thought, oh, this would be a real tasty battle. But Hamilton learnt from how to do it from last time out. Pinned him again down to the inside at turn 4 and made the move there. A brilliant move, brilliant battles throughout the race, all the way up the front and all the way back. Surprising that the Red Bulls struggled really, and even Charles Leclerc didn't really make too many moves up the field. Finished in 6th, did Leclerc in the end, but we will have a Mercedes 1-2 right up at the start for the race tomorrow. So Carlos Sainz will take his 5th-place grid penalty for the ice. This is pending, though. Lewis Hamilton is under investigation for a starting infringement. It's something to do with his position on the grid at the start, not so much a jump start. And we're pending an investigation on that. Hopefully we'll have some news on that soon. But it will be a Mercedes 1-2, the first of the season. Mercedes have actually won a race, I suppose we can call it that. It is a sprint race where it only counts for the starting grid, but 8 points for them will help them in their battle for second place in the constructors with Ferrari. But yeah, surprised. I just did not see Mercedes getting a win this season, and the pace that they shown was absolutely brilliant. They were both on it. Lewis Hamilton come back from 8th. George Russell made the move on the Haas, and then Verstappen from 3rd to get the win, and Hamilton, brilliant race, my driver of the day. Absolutely brilliant moves. So yeah, it'll be a Mercedes 1-2. The Ferraris just didn't have the pace today. Leclerc will start 6th, Sainz 2nd, Mercedes 1-2. Red Bull 4th and 5th. They'll move up 1 place, so that'll be 3rd and 4th. The McLaren of Norris will be in 6th. Obviously, Sainz will start 7th. Daniel Ricciardo 11th. Didn't really do much in the race. The two McLarens. Norris had some battles past, obviously, Kevin Magnussen, but just dropped back. I suppose he started 4th place, so didn't really have the pace in the race, did the McLarens, in dry conditions. Alonso in the Alpine will start 16th. Obviously that battle with Ocon broke his wing. He had to pit for wing and come out, but still finished P16 was last, so absolute mega pace from them still. Ocon in 18th. They cost each other for the whole race. Kevin Magnussen, brilliant, brings a point home for the Haas in 8th place. Mick Schumacher started 20th and finished 12th in the sprint race. Brilliant racing from him. Up 8 places. Brilliant racing from there. Really did his fight for the seat in the Haas some big favours there with that one. And then we've got the Aston Martins, them two battling it out. Cost themselves in the end, daily in the end. Vettel will start the race in 9th. Stroll will start 17th. Not what they can afford, to be honest. It comes to the end of the season where you want to make all the points you can on your rivals. The Alpha Tauris didn't really have a solid race, but Gasly finished in 10th place, made up 2 places. Yuki Tsunoda started 19th. It will start the race tomorrow, 16th. The Alfa Romeos actually did really well. Bottas starting 18th and Zhu 17th, and Bottas finished in 14th and Zhu 13th. Made some places up in the race. They've got race pace here. It's a shame that they couldn't show that in the qualifying yesterday. So hopefully we'll have a strong race from them tomorrow. The Williams of Albon started 11th, but then spun, stayed back, and finished last. And then Nicholas Latifi started 16th and will start the race 19th for him. Looks like we'll have a fantastic race tomorrow. Hopefully the Mercedes can get their first race win, although they've got a sprint race win. Who'd have thought that? I'd never predicted that for this race. I actually honestly thought it'll just be a Verstappen off on his own. I expected the Ferraris to fight through, but that didn't quite work for Leclerc. He didn't seem to have the pace that Sainz had, and it was a brilliant race, overtaking all over the place. And this is why we like sprint races, but only at select circuits. It really works here in Brazil. Really looking forward to the race tomorrow. Bring it on. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. I'll see you tomorrow.